Welcome to Had6 channel. In this video, we will look into habit. 16 nouns with similar meanings will be reviewed in example sentences. Let's get started. Number 1. Won't, which means one's customary behavior. Won't. For example, Constance, as was her wont, had paid her little attention. Number 2. Way, which means one's characteristic or habitual manner of behavior or expression. Way. For example, I've learned my lesson and changed my ways. Number 3. Quirk, which means a peculiar aspect of a person's character or behavior. Quirk. For example, they accepted her attitude as one of her little quirks. Number 4. Characteristic, which means a feature or quality belonging typically to a person, place, or thing and serving to identify them. Characteristic. For example, these men have some interesting characteristics. Number 5. Practice, which means the customary, habitual, or expected procedure or way of doing of something. Practice. For example, it has become common practice to employ women lawyers for the defense in rape trials. Number 6. Tendency, which means an inclination towards a particular characteristic or type of behavior. Tendency. For example, for students, there is a tendency to socialize in the evenings. Number 7. Idiosyncrasy, which means a distinctive or peculiar feature or characteristic of a place or thing. Idiosyncrasy. For example, his idiosyncrasies included the recycling of cigar butts. Number 8. Mannerism, which means a habitual gesture or way of speaking or behaving. Mannerism. For example, learning the great man's speeches and studying his mannerisms. Number 9. Convention, which means behavior that is considered acceptable or polite to most members of a society. Convention. For example, he was an upholder of convention and correct form. Number 10. Rule, which means the normal or customary state of things. Rule. For example, such accidents are the exception rather than the rule. Number 11. Trick, which means a peculiar or characteristic habit or mannerism. trick. For example, she had a trick of clipping off certain words and phrases. Number 12. Trait, which means a distinguishing quality or characteristic, typically one belonging to a person. Trait. For example, the traditionally British trait of self-denigration. Number 13. Usage, which means habitual or customary practice, especially as creating a right, obligation, or standard. Usage. For example, the dictates and usages of polite society. Number 14. Custom, which means a thing that one does habitually. Custom. For example, it is our custom to visit the Lake District in October. Number 15. Tradition, which means a long-established custom or belief that has been passed on from one generation to another. Tradition. For example, Japan's unique cultural traditions. Number 16. Propensity, which means an inclination or natural tendency to behave in a particular way. Propensity. For example, her propensity to jump to conclusions. Can you think of other examples? Please share them in the comment section below. Furthermore, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.